All right, one more inductee, and we're going back now to men's track and field. And one more time, big round of applause for Mr. Siebert Straughn. With a career overlapping that of Stephen Roberts for 3 years, Siebert Straughn was another very successful MSU Barbados connection that produced back-to-back Ohio Valley Conference Outdoor Track and Field Championships. In 1991, and MSU swept both the outdoor and indoor titles in 1992. Straughn's specialty was the 400 meter, where he was undefeated in 4 seasons of OVC indoor and outdoor competition. He was named the OVC Track and Field Athlete of the Year in 1991 and earned status as a 4-time All-American. Straughn represented Barbados in the 1988 Seoul Olympic Games in the 400 meter run, and he was part of his country's 4x400 relay team. He was back in the Olympics 4 years later in 1992 in Barcelona, competing in the same events, and in 2004, with his days of competing behind him, he was the head coach for the Barbados Olympic Track and Field team in 2004 at the Olympic Games in Athens. One more time, big round of applause for Mr. Siebert Straughn. And a face we're now familiar with, inducting Siebert tonight, is his coach. Welcome back to the podium, Mr. Stan Naruski.
Everybody that's come up tonight has mentioned 5 minutes. I was told 3 minutes. I finished in 3 minutes and 4 seconds. I got 2 extra minutes. And I'm going to use every one of them. Ron Boyce, who's here tonight, was my assistant coach. And more than that, he was and is a great friend. And a mentor to everybody on our team. Be they a short sprinter or a cross-country runner. I know we've got at least one person here, Chris Bayergar, who's a teammate of theirs, came down here to see them be inducted. Anyway, Ron Boyce, I believe, said, "There's this guy in Barbados." You've heard that before, right? I said, "And who is this guy? Siebert Straughn. Is he any good?" He said, "Well, I don't have his best time, but he just ran in the Seoul Olympics in '88. I said, "We want him." We called him. He came and was an asset from day one. Great leadership. I remember one time, I forgot what it was, and I usually don't do this. I don't just hand decisions over to the team. I said, the team needs to vote on this. Siebert goes, "No, we're just going to do the right thing. Here's what we'll do." And I went, "Good enough for me," and everybody in the team went, we're in. And I'll relate that experience to you. It's a private moment. We had a lot of great moments. We would, early in his career, before we got the band together, the 4 great quarter milers, 400 meter runners, we would go to meets and we'd have half miler and, and a 49-second guy and a 48-second guy, and we would kind of be out of it, and then we'd get the stick to Siebert on the end, and he'd split a 44. If you don't know what a 44-second 400 meters is, anybody here know what that is? That's awesome. Trust me, that's awesome. That's like you can be in a world final with that. And I'll tell you, probably the best race, most memorable race was not at a national championship, but I remember your first All-American award. We were at Indianapolis indoors, and this guy had the most magnificent voice, who's the PA guy. Margaret, you remember that guy? And Siebert says, "The man has the voice of God." And I said, "You're about right. That's what I would expect it to sound like. Like, Stan, good job." And he finished his race, and there was a 2-heat final. He said, "What do you think, Coach?" I said, "We're not celebrating until we hear the voice of God." And they called out Siebert's name, and he was an NCAA Division I All-American at that meet at Indianapolis, and we got it straight from the top, the announcer. We saw a lot of great races. Auburn was a rival. Georgia Tech was a rival. They went on to win the national championship, and we set a school record, I think, 3:02:10 in the 4x400, and it was the worst coaching mistake of my life. I should have held you out of the 400 meters open and run everybody fresh in the 4x4, and that's my fault, and I apologize and confess today. But the most memorable 4x4, before we got the band together, we had a home meet. Memphis State, and I like that better than Memphis University, and Arkansas State and Murray State ran a meet, and the coach, the football coach, liked to bump heads with me, and he decided he was going to bring the entire football team out for their spring training workout while the meet was going on. We had one event left. I said, "Mike, I don't care." And they came out, they started doing calisthenics. We fired the gun, and Memphis State got an early lead. Arkansas State was there for a little while, and they built the lead and built the lead. He got the baton, and everybody, it's showstopper. And these guys are supposed to be doing exercises, and they're doing this thing. Finally, they quit doing this and just watched as they had about, I don't know, maybe a 40-meter lead on us, and he just sucked the guy up like a vacuum cleaner, and we won the meet. We had to win the 4x4 to win the meet. And everybody went, all the football players, against the wishes of the coach, went crazy, and it was a great day. But that was probably the most memorable of the 4x4s, maybe among the least important when we look at the nationals and us traveling around and racing big races. But that was a great moment. And you had about 120 fans out there on the field watching, coaches included. Great day. But Siebert Straughn, as you heard, a man who makes a difference every day as a teacher, as a husband, as a father, not just a former athlete, but somebody who, just like you suggested, we pass that on to others, has passed his experience on to others and made a difference in his home. We want to welcome you, and I'm so proud to introduce you to everyone as you're inducted into the Hall of Fame, Siebert Straughn.
I'm the ankle leg tonight. But first, I want to congratulate all the inductees. I'll let you stand with me, please. All of you, stand with me. I'm sure you have a lot of fond memories of Murray State University, several, and I will not say any of them. I think all of them have been, every day that I have spent in Murray, Kentucky, have been very great for me in my life. So every day is no special day. It's indeed a great pleasure to be back after 25 years. 25 years, back in 1994, to a place where have shaped and molded me into the person that I have become. My first experience back in January of 1989, and it's so ironic that I left Barbados on Wednesday in the high 80s, and it took us, we would have left Barbados around 3:45, no, 2:45, and we arrived in Murray at 10 to 3 on Thursday morning. And firstly, I must thank Dave, who picked up myself and my wife and my friend Paul from Nashville Airport, because we will always remember Stephen, Ron, all of us student athletes from Barbados. You might feel when you get into Miami, by a flight to Nashville, that the ride from Nashville to Murray, Kentucky probably is about half an hour. But it still remains the 2-hour plus drive to Murray, Kentucky. As I said, my first experience was in the spring of January 1989, and I can certainly recall that day. The conditions was quite similar to what we have at present. It was of a very cold and snowy day. The environment was totally different in terms of the weather, because I was so accustomed to warm conditions in Barbados. On that day, assistant coach Roller Boys, I'd like him to stand. Roller Boys gave me my first workout, which tested my character. And I asked myself the question, I recall, I think it was the football player. I listened very carefully to all of my presenters. I believe that they probably checked my script for the night. I asked myself the question, am I in the right place? Years later, I found out that I was certainly in the right place. Coach Boyce took advantage of a fellow Barbadian by giving an innocent youngster who have just arrived from sunny Barbados sounds like a very easy workout. 200 meters. Miss Coach Simmons, that's an easy workout. You can run that in high heel shoes. As I say, on a cold, snowy day. But he can tell the story. For their significant impact on my life, during my years as a student athlete, here at the best university. Round of applause, the best, we are the best university. I wish to thank the following individuals. Coach Naruski, who has always been a father figure to me, his wife Anne, their son Taylor, I think we shared a very close birthday, and those three individuals, I think, was very, very critical to my development. Coach Ronald Boyce, he was a person back in 1988. I remember it was at an international meet in Barbados called the Texas Games. I finished third in that race. I was a young, skinny kid, and he saw something in me. And so his role was been very, very, very important in my development as a student athlete also. His wife also, I can remember the many days they took me into their homes and they fed me, in those early days. She told me tonight that she have a daughter now. I can remember her daughter was a little girl, and now she's 33 years old. It's quite amazing. So time have really moved on. Former athletic director, I think is Dr. Michael Strickland. I wish he was here tonight because he played a critical role. I think I probably was one of his favorite athletes at Murray State. He had a lot of confidence in me. I know there's Janet who was here. Remember Janet? But I think one of my favorite staff members was Sandra Edwards. I wish she was present. I think I had a lot of time for her. And the entire athletic department. Coach Margaret Simmons, she was a mother figure. I mean, we had the girls team and the boys team, but we all supported each other. The physical education department, where I would have obtained my degree from there, all the professors in there, I want to thank them. The International Students Center, I paid a visit today to that. I had to go back to some of the places who give me that support. So I visited that department today. I had a good discussion in terms of getting, my goal is to get in Barbadian, not only student athletes, but academic students here at Murray State in the future. So that is something that I would drive home very hard when I return back home. The brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha, my fraternity, and I want Mr. Patrick White, who was my line brother. He was one of Murray State football players. You can stand Patrick. For their support also during my time here. The Lighthouse Dykes and Knights, this is a group from Barbados. I'm a teacher in high school at one of the top high schools in Barbados. We are the head of the department in physical education, and my friend drove from North Carolina to be here with me, Mr. Smith, who's in the audience too. My numerous supporters in Barbados who I can do it without Barbados because they all also play a very important role. My Olympic Association and my Athletic Association, the entire Murray State family for their support over the years. Fellow law school students, Mr. Paul Linton, and I'm sure that you know Mr. Anton Reese, who is also one of your fellow Kentucky residents. Mr. Reese, who is on the back, and he's also on the board of this proud, noble institution. So I'm happy that Mr. Reese, Dr. Reese is here with us tonight. our teammate, Mr. Chris Barringer. Where is he? I haven't seen you. This is the first time seeing you in a long time. I'm very appreciative that you have come here to give both me, Stephen, and Alexis your support, and Pat the support tonight. Murray State University have impacted my life in many ways. I met my beautiful wife, Dale. Can she stand, please? At the back. 29 years ago, as a student athlete, through a long distance call arranged by my Murray State teammate, Terry Grover Hayward. We have been married for 25 years, and I must say, she is my best friend. And we have a daughter who's Michaela, and I wish she could have been here tonight to really experience, to be here to be part of this celebration tonight. I can proudly say that, to a great extent, thanks to Murray State investment in me, we are a household of 3 graduates in our household. So we have been able to motivate each other to reach the highest level in terms of the academics, which is very, very critical. I lost my mom, Cynthia, on August 5th of this year, which was a difficult time for me. I'm the first child, so I had to be the big brother for my other brothers and sisters. It was a very difficult time, but I know the masters know what's best. And I proudly told her of my induction into the Murray State Hall of Fame. She was one of my biggest fans, along with my extended family. I continue to follow Murray State. I do, very, very daily, through Mr. Dave at the back, because he put up some very, very good stuff on Facebook. I must say that. And I was extremely proud this year at the NBA draft when Jay Moran, calling him correctly, I was so proud that I could boast all the way in Barbados and say, look, you know something? I went to school with him. We went to the same university, number 2 in the NBA draft. Any professional league, that is big business. And for the size of Murray State, that was quite massive. And I'm pleased that he's playing extremely well right now in the NBA. So we should all be proud of this young man. I'm making a plea tonight. Where is Mr. I spoke to him on the phone and through text messages. Where is Mr. Athletic Director, Mr. Kevin? Good, I'm making a plea to you. With the reintroduction of the men's track and field program, which tonight shows 2 examples of a once powerful program under the leadership of Coach Naruski, Ronald Boyce, and all the other coaches, I will gladly stand in front of you now, and I will give any kind of assistance that we can get a men's track and field program back here at Murray State, because when I visited through the section of Coach Adam and his assistant, I had a good discussion with the young female athletes yesterday, and it felt really good. I saw them run a 300 in the cold weather, but they took up the challenge, and they had their testing on terms of their weight training, and I was very pleased because I remember early in, I think it was in indoor season, the coach reached out to me and he asked me to say some motivation speech to them, and it seemed that actually worked, and they had a very, very, very good year in terms of the track season this year. So I will do anything to make Murray State, anything that I can do within my power for us. Mr. Jill Doherty, he was one here with us when we was at Murray State, his daughter was part of one of our teammates too, so I'm happy to see you here tonight too. I think I have 90 seconds to go. My success has been shaped by everyone, as not only the coaches, but I think that looking back, I always find that the Murray State community give us really good support. As you know, we were far from Barbados, which was far from home. From Barbados, not going to be difficult, and they really embrace us and give us support when we do well. And because we had a good, successful run with in terms of track and field at that time. But I wish to thank Mr. Kevin Saul, the new athletic director. I like his vibes. I think that he's really good for this university. And I want to wish you all the best for the remainder of the school year and all the best in the future. And your entire committee, who would have, the one that would have nominated me, 25 years seems a long time, but I always has been a very patient person. I think that and I always felt that with my contribution to the Murray State University, that someday they would have found some way to give me that honor. So I wasn't too concerned. And for my induction, and for allowing me to join the legends, because being in a Hall of Fame is no small matter. That is massive, quite massive, here in the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Murray State family. I'm proud to say that I am a Murray State racer for life. God bless.